Well, hello, it's Leonie Hunt from Get More to Life, and today is day 133 of my journey. 133 days live. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Well, I think it is. Hope you do too. I've had a really good day. A few little frustrations in there, but that absolutely was nothing compared to the beautiful surprises that I got today. So, first of all, I did my swim this morning. Oh, the water was beautiful, 22 degrees. So I'm trying to increase my laps by 4 every day. So I did that this morning and was home and up and ready to go. Hello, Pamela. How are you? Lovely to see you online. So, yeah, that was a fantastic start to the day. But I wanted to share something that was just really wonderful that happened today for me. So, I guess sometimes you forget how you can make a mark on someone's life. And I love sharing and supporting and helping people. And I hope that by doing these broadcasts, well, I know actually by doing these broadcasts, I'm helping me, but I know I'm also helping a lot of people because I'm getting some fantastic comments and feedback and encouragement about how people are relating to some of the things I talk about, how it helps them, how it entertains them, etc. And I guess sometimes I forget how impactful I can be on someone's life. And if I can just bring blessings, love, support to someone every day, I'd be a very, very happy woman. Out of the blue, I got a text a couple of days ago from someone that I haven't really spoken to or seen for about 30 years, from when I used to live in Sydney and work in Sydney. And just a text out of the blue saying, Leonie, do you still live in Adelaide? We're on our way over. We'd love to catch up. And then just had their names. And I obviously didn't, when you don't, I guess, have people, sorry, I got a bit distracted because what happens on the phone, if you get new messages, they pop up and I just need to get rid of them. So, but anyway, it was just a phone number. It wasn't in my contacts, etc. But I did recognise the names because they're, funnily enough, and all the couples I know, these are the only couple that I knew with this Stephen and Leanne. Anyway, after 30 years, we caught up and had a coffee today. And it was just so good to see these people. And it was like we sat down, and it was only yesterday we'd seen each other. And we certainly, Stephen and I, worked together in Sydney, and we could share a few laughs, etc. But interestingly, it was just amazing that these people remembered and thought enough of me to actually want to catch up and say hello. And we talked about those days, and he hasn't caught up with anyone else really that we used to work with there. So that was a really beautiful surprise for me. So I just came away with such a warm heart, and it was lovely, absolutely lovely to see them. So yeah, that was my big surprise for the day. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is I read something this morning about listening, and I'd like to share it with you because I think it's something that we do need to be reminded of, and I certainly found it quite helpful. It's about learning to listen, and I guess you've heard that we should be quick to listen and slow to speak, but that doesn't necessarily happen. So in order to build good relationships, you must become a good listener. And in order to be a good listener, there's a few things that you need to do. You need to, number one, listen without interrupting. And that's true even if you know that probably more than the person that you're talking to. So respect them and value them enough to listen effectively, and don't interrupt them, and wait till they're finished. So that was the first thing. So try to understand their point of view, their feelings, their thinking, their needs, etc. So listen to understand where they're coming from. So that's pretty important. So good listening is probably actually hearing what the person you're speaking to is actually thinking, meaning, or feeling, or not kind of jumping to conclusions or imagining that you know what they're thinking, feeling, etc. You shouldn't guess, and you shouldn't prejudge. You should kind of prompt them and say, am I understanding you correctly, or do you mean this, or are you feeling like this? So don't assume. Just make sure that when you're talking to when they're talking to you and you're listening to someone, that you don't jump to conclusions, that you really clarify and verify what they're saying to you. Try to understand their point of view. That's pretty important. That's number 2. Number 3, don't rush to conclusions. So again, as I said, listen without judging. So if what they say isn't quite add up to something, or you don't really understand them, you've got to keep listening, and you've got to kind of keep listening until you do understand where they're coming from. Because the more that you listen and the more questions that you gently ask, the more that you'll get to hear and the more you'll understand. So I think it's also important, number 4, is not to get them on the defensive. So don't try to correct people. Don't try to counter what they're saying. Don't be devaluing what they're saying. What people, you're spending time with someone, give them your attention and ensure that you're actually giving them the courtesy of listening to them. I think that's probably pretty important. So don't try to correct them. Don't try to make them feel silly or anything like that. So I guess it comes down to accepting, that what they're thinking and feeling is valid. If you don't understand, ask them to help you understand. Ask them to help you get on the same page. So what you could probably say then is like, given what you've told me, I can see why you'd feel that way. And that'll increase their willingness to consider your thoughts and accept solutions that you may offer. So if you want to be someone who is a person of influence in your life, learn how to be a good listener, because being a good listener and validating that person's thoughts will actually open up opportunities for you to progress the relationship. And I thought that was pretty powerful and important words that I read this morning, and wanted to share them with you. So I hope that you found those helpful. And I'd like to say thank you for listening again. And it's a much better day today, and life is good. And I look forward to being on again live tomorrow. I will try to make it a bit earlier tomorrow, back to my normal 11 o'clock time slot. But you never know, things may get in the way. So all the best. And again, hope you've done your gratitude diary. 5 things that you're grateful for. One of those being a person, and then reach out and let them know just how important they are to you in their lives. It'll make their day, and it'll certainly make yours as well. All the best. Thanks for your support.